Hello everyone and welcome back to Casting My Climb, Dota 2 edition. So, we're in episode number 12. We got a banger of a game once again here on the docket. We got, on the Radiant side, we got Alchemist is going to be, I think, the offlaner. Ursa is the mid laner. Jakiro is one of the supports. Pakna is the secondary support. And Zeus is the mid laner. On the Dire team, we have me on Marci in the mid lane. I got put into the mid lane, so it's kind of a bit of a thing about it. We have Vengeful Spirit, who is the offlane support. We got Juggernaut, who's the offlaner. Wraith King is going to be the safe laner. And we have Crystal Maiden as the hard support. So, let's get into it. So as I said, yeah, I got put into mid lane, which is a bit of a surprise, to be honest about it. Because I thought, okay, you know what, I've been playing a lot of position 1, so let's try to get somewhere else in this one. Problem is, I'm not really a good mid laner, I would say, most of the time. Smoke is being popped there by the Radiant team. Very interesting. Crystal Maiden does get a ward down there pretty deep, so that could be quite helpful for me, actually. Very interesting how this holds up right now. They do deward it immediately, so that is out of the window. Pugna and Alchemist look for a wraparound with the smoke. That's kind of an interesting play about it.
It's almost time for everybody to die.
They do show up toward the Wraith King, so they should be showing now. They are moving pretty closely. Juggernaut is not even close by. We do see them going on the map. Vengeful Spirit is still sitting there. Alchemist not in a good position. Gets hit by that frostbite. He goes quite stun. He gives out with the stun. Gives Wraith King the first blood. But Alchemist is dead. That is a one pickup here. Probably gonna take quite a bit of damage. Akira goes with the dual breath there. Seems like it's more normal now to go with the dual breath for the Jakiro than it did a while ago. Zeus is getting some pressure onto the Marci, but he is taking a bit of a hit here already. A bit of armor gone as well. Less than half HP already for the Zeus. Is a bit of a rough start, gotta say. Gonna be very interesting how he follows up about this. Something to keep in mind here. Zeus can be pretty nice. Zeus can pressure the Marci pretty well. I think at least to level 6, like, I would say. But that's probably... Oh, it's good throw there from the Marci. Does take that hit. Has a stick there. Gets out almost down to a quarter of HP, so that's not quite a bad play. Blah. Meanwhile, Alchemist is in an interesting position. Gets rooted up once again. Is pretty low as well. Marci has to be very careful how you play this one out, because right now you do see how Zeus is going to create more pressure and more pressure and more pressure. That's, I think, like the advantage that the Zeus has for quite a bit. Ursa jumps on top of the Juggernaut. Juggernaut is taking quite a bit of damage and just trying to answer completely there, and they do take that kill, which is pretty nice. Gotta be honest about that one. That's quite a good stable way to hold this one out. Alchemist and Wraith King are fighting this one out as much as you really want to see. And with that, we got a 2-0 lead for the Dire team. Zeus has a bit of pressure. Marci gets on top once again there. Gets a good dispose there as well. Zeus does answer quite nicely here, but he's dropping pretty low. Level 3 now for the Marci. Marci gets a good block there. Has to use the stick charge. Zeus is going pretty aggressive here, but he has to be very careful how the Marci handles him there. Alchemist and Wraith King are just kind of farming side by side right now, I would say. Alchemist is in a bit of a dangerous position right now. He just has to be very careful how he handles the Marci situation. Marci does have quite a bit of advantage. She does have lifesteal as well. That's something to keep in mind here completely. That with Bodyguard, Marci does gain a good advantage on the Zeus here. Has some lifesteal, can handle herself quite well. It's a dispose. Zeus is dropping very low, but not enough to put him down. Zeus can't put down the Marci either. However, That's going to be an interesting situation. Marci does pick up the water rune, so that's going to be another helpful situation to handle about this one. Wraith King is holding up, as I said, versus the Alchemist, which is kind of like how you want to see the Alchemist and Wraith King matchup go out. You want to technically pressure it, but Rizzo jumps on top of the Juggernaut, throws out the blade, the spin, and okay. Unfortunately, the Vengeful Spirit does take quite a bit of damage there, but not enough to really stop some plays in this one. It'd be interesting how this one develops. Crystal Maiden is roaming around a bit towards the pool, which makes a lot of sense. They do get the Alchemist pretty low once again, but the Alchemist is still holding on as much as you really want the Alchemist to hold on. Doug walks into the Ursa, tries to get the blade form. Ethereal comes out of there, so that's another opportunity. No stun available right now. Juggernaut getting pressured by the Ursa. Ursa gets a few slaps in there. Does Bench have enough damage to really stop him here? No, doesn't have enough damage there. Juggernaut causes... That's a Lotus being used as well. Frostbite, meanwhile, in the top lane onto the Alchemist. Alchemist tries to get something out of this one. Zeus is a slight bit ahead of the Marci here, so this could become very interesting how this one develops now, because Zeus now has an advantage here. Gonna see how the Zeus has to play this one out, because the Marci, if she manages... The thing is, I feel like the Zeus matchup is kind of like the Marci's not looking good versus the Zeus till like level 6, because as soon as level 6 comes out there, it's kind of an advantage for the Marci, because Unleash is just such a good level 6 spell. Because it gives Marci what she really needs. Juggernaut takes quite a bit of damage. Ursa's going for the jump there. Takes down the Juggernaut. He overextended there quite a bit. Vengeful Spirit tries to answer completely now. Smoke is activated, which is a very weird play, to be honest. But hey, it is what it is in this one. Wraith King takes quite a bit of damage. Has to use the stick there. Drakir comes around. Stun goes on to the Wraith King. Wraith King is dropping pretty low here. Crystal Maiden does not have an opportunity to do something about it, but does find the Alchemist. Alchemist is dropping pretty low. He goes down to the Crystal Maiden there, and Wraith King managed to live a day there. Now again, Urza are just kind of doing their thing right now, farming a bit up here. Mid lane, Zeus is almost level 6. Marci's about halfway away, so that's going to be a very interesting play around situation. Zeus does have the advantage here, so Marci has to be very careful to play this one up. This is out farming the Marci as well. That's another thing to keep in mind really right now. Juggernaut holding on as much as you can, really getting a bit of farm as well. And that's okay, actually picks up that one. Stun on top of the Ursa. This could be an opportunity, but the Juggernaut is doubting the situation, and that should have been a pickoff, honestly. Juggernaut had to just move in there, get the hit there, and that would have been a kill. Yeah, Alchemist still taking damage, gets a Frostbite for his worries here as well. Fire Blast comes in there. Alchemist is dropping pretty low once again here. Wraith King gets a few slaps in there. One more stun. No, actually just a slap with the sword is enough to put him down here. While Juggernaut does kill Pugna there. Juggernaut is dropping pretty low. Does Venge have anything up there? 2 seconds? No, doesn't even need it. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the Marci just kills off the Zeus, and that's the level 6 thing. Marci gets level 6, you got a problem on Zeus. You can really see this fight goes out completely. 4 go down on this Radiant team in that short timing. Some Maiden going pretty aggressive for that shrine. That's quite a nice thing to go about, honestly. The Maiden's gonna pick up the shrine. Nope, no questions asked whatsoever. Her shrine goes out. Juggernaut is not in a good situation. Stun goes out. Juggernaut's still hitting the wave. I thought he was going to go for the Ursa, but no. Venge has to throw out the Relief of Terror as well, and that's going to be it probably for now. Because the main looks a bit aggressive towards the Alchemist. Alchemist is holding on as much as he can right now. And now Ursa just jumps on top of the Venge. Venge does not have enough, has a stun there. Jug does not have enough damage yet. And that's going to be that fight. Meanwhile, Unleashed from Marci once again. Zeus tries to find a way out of this one, but he is being chased down by this vengeful girl. And nope, she's not going to pull the trigger. Meanwhile, Ursa dies in the middle. And now Alchemist is not in a good position. Gets a stun onto the Wraith King, but that's going to be it. Marci jumps once again, gets a dispose, and that's another death for the Zeus. And Marci walks away. And while the Zeus has more last hits than the Marci is, I think, 2 or 3-0 right now. Good look at the scoreboard. 2-0. Just gets on top of this Zeus, and he just cannot really handle this. Thing is, right now, I would say the Dire team are a bit on a timer. We're 8:35 into the game almost. Oh, ult comes out from the Zeus, but not enough to kill the Marci. Marci pops the haste rune and gets out of dodge, and Zeus is still looking for the blood, but the haste rune is probably going to be enough to give her a breather here. I would say in this game, as I said, I feel like the Dire team are on a timer because you got the Alchemist who can really rumble out of control. You got the Ursa who can create a lot of problems. You do have a lot of good late carries on the Dire team, but Wraith King needs a bit, Juggernaut needs a bit, Wraith Fire Blast onto the Alchemist. Alchemist is dropping pretty low once again. Goes down once again in this game, and this is just not what you want to do if you are this. This is not pretty. Oh, Unleashed once again, and Marci just jumps the Zeus and just has his back every time. Meanwhile, Jakiro dies in the top lane as well, so this Radiant team are quite on the back foot. And as I said, Zeus, he's not having a good time with his Marci, and that's even the tower gone. That Omni Slash did get the Ursa in the end. Was a bit close, but did get him. And right now, I feel like I make a bit of a mistake. I think I should have gone top side rather than bot side, but I felt like they were good enough there, really. That's a big part about this one right now. Marci looking for an opportunity in the mid lane, maybe once again. Maybe. Zeus is very wary of what's happening right now. The Marci is pretty far ahead. Has to play this one out. Zeus is looking for a roam right now. Might go in there. Breathing Field goes out. The Alchemist gets a stun onto the Wraith King. Wraith King is slowly going down. There is the Zeus moving up right now towards the top side as well. Alchemist not looking good here. The Wraith King does have, I think, no, actually does not have the reincarnation. I thought he had the reincarnation up still, but no, he didn't, and Alchemist picks one up there. Crystal Maiden holding up. They looks like they were gonna go for a push here on the top side, but now the Marci is gonna look for a roam around and has a double damage rune. Can pop that one with pops the double damage rune. Zeus is trying to find a way out of this one, trying to get away from the Marci, but she does not care and takes down this lovely Zeus once again. Jakiro trying to find a way out of this one, but the Marci's just walking in here. Unleashed still going on, and that's a double kill for the Marci. And she just puts them in their place. And as I said, I feel like the jump onto the Alchemist wasn't there. That's kind of like the one problem about it. If the Alchemist would have died there to the Marci or something like that, that would have put a lot of value into them. However, right now the Ursa is creating a lot more problems here. Juggernaut is not good. Juggernaut's gonna fall here to the Zeus, actually. Zeus puts in damage here. Thing is, which I make a big mistake about in this game, I feel like I don't really farm well in this game. You see, I am third right now, but I need to extend this lead further and further right now. Venge walks into that place, gets hit by the ice path. Meanwhile, this is a bit of a rough one. Smoke is activated. I don't know why you activate the smoke in these situations. It's not really a play you want to go for. Swap is horribly bad for the Marci there. The Marci kind of wants to get on top of that one. Jakiro gets the dual breath out there. However, Unleash is being popped once again. Wave of Terror comes out. Marci picks up another one. Now Alchemist has to try to find a way away from this Marci, but no opportunity whatsoever. And that's a double kill once again for the Marci here. Diffusal, I feel like the diffusal was a misplay here for myself. In my own opinion, because I feel like I should have probably gone for something more like the BKB to immediately cancel out their plays and then go into the Skull Bash or the usual Marci stuff. That's my opinion now after this game, to be honest, because I feel like I did some good positions here and I did some horribly bad positions, and one of these horribly bad positions is that I just kind of put myself into a bad situation here. Wraith King goes a bit too far forward for my taste, to be honest. He's gonna have a problem here. I'm not even close anywhere there, so I can't really get into that one. Looking for the Ursa, because that's gonna be a big pickup if we can get it right now. Venge does have the swap available, does not get vision on the Ursa though. There's a bit of a problem, to be honest. Meanwhile, topside, that's where honestly I should be in this fight right now. I should be topside. I should be getting on top of there. I don't have a scroll, which I do bring myself now, I think, to get here, if I remember correctly. I do. Do I do that? I thought I did that. Seems like I didn't do it. Okay, a bit of a rough one. Oh no, I do it. Okay, so. The Crystal Maiden is already gone. I go for the TP in here. This might be even a bad play right now, to be honest. Get on top. Oh, Alchemist is going down. It's real on top of this, and the Wraith King just moved out of the way. That's a bit of the problem, I feel like, in this fight right now. The Wraith King moved out of the way, didn't really do much about it. And there's a stun. The swap comes out for the Marci. There's a stun. I should not be going in there. I unfortunately do go in there, which is my mistake there. Wraith King does not walk into that fight, which I feel like is a bit of a misplay, honestly, onto that Wraith King. He should have walked in as soon as we kind of went for the play there. Could have gotten a lot more out of it, but he decided against it, and this is part of this what may. Then he walks in after the Venge is dead. He walks in after the Venge is dead, after the Marci's dead, and goes up. They do pick up now the Alchemist, which is a good one. Puck now goes down as well. And as I said, you could have done it with the team there. You could have played it out quite nicely. A lot of gold changes hands there, but I still feel like that was a misplay there. Let's look at the items. As I said, I feel like I made a big mistake in this game right now with the item pickups I did do. Because the Diffuse, I feel like, is not worth it. The Aghanim's would have been a good first item really to get out, because it gives you the Unleash cooldown for Marci, which is really, really valuable. Gives you 10. That one gives that, and the Pulse is always good. Because it's silence, we get on top of the Zeus once again. Zeus just goes down to the Marci. Zeus has no opportunity to fight this Marci. Marci is just dominating the Zeus. That's something to be. But yeah, no, it's really it goes well with. I feel like Marci mid is a fun character, and I realized through this game why I love to play Marci. I got to play it a bit more, honestly. Avenge does some good swaps, no question about it. The problem is more how do I call it? Kind of force the Marci into a bad situation. We do get to pick up on the Pugno. The Shard would have been even a better pickup, let's be honest, than Diffuser right now. It makes sense with their lineup to have a Diffuser, but I feel like it was just a bad play there. Alchemist tries to sustain himself as much as he can, goes down once again there. This is the thing with an Alchemist. You can bring him down, and the Alchemist does not have a good game. Let's be honest about this game completely. The Alchemist is 1-8, but it's unfortunately an Alchemist who can just out-farm you anyway. Kind of a bit of a problem, to be honest. Juggernaut is going for a Battle Fury. He is not going to be useful for a long time. Wraith King does have the Radiance, so that could be a good opportunity. He's going to pick up the Blink Dagger, which is great as well. I would say next... Yeah, I mean, I agree kind of with that build, to be honest, with the Wraith King, but I don't think that he goes for that one. That's kind of the unfortunate part with that one. Venge goes for the swap there, immediate that one. This is why I think the BKB would have been so valuable at this point already. It would have been a valuable pickup already. It's real on to the Marci. Marci gets life stolen. And no opportunity. Wraith King comes in there. Double kill for the Alchemist. That really brings him honestly back into the game. Juggernaut dies to the neutral creeps while everything goes on. Alchemist gets hit by the Frostbite. Wraith King's trying to find a way out of this one. Does have the reincarnation, so that's something about that. Oh, Zeus hits the ult. Crystal Maiden is still available in this one. Freezing Field is on cooldown. Was used at the start of the fight. And this is where I feel like that Diffuser Blade is costing me pretty badly in this game. I said Aghanim's great pickup. BKB would need to be up there soon as well. Those are kind of like the two big items you really need. Wraith King going for the Blink Dagger gives a good opportunity to play something out of there. They do get the Omni Slash on the Alchemist. And he goes down. Right now, if I remember correctly, my thought process during this game was, okay, I'm 9-2. I need to create some advantages for the team. And I feel like I overextend there quite a bit badly with this one. Because I'm like, okay, if I get the advantages, we're good. We can really roll. This invasion is kind of a good thought process, because if you get on top of the Ursa, he's kind of screwed. And there's the clear out. Ursa's still running around there. If they find Ursa, they can really do a lot with it. Ursa tries to jump away, and now should be the point where you back off completely. You don't go for anything anymore, you back off, you just don't fight it. Right now, that's kind of the problem we kind of encounter here. Milk of Deceit being popped here. They're going for the Marci, which makes a lot of sense, honestly. They want the Marci dead. Ice Path comes out of their Freezing Field as well, and that's a point where you don't really go for anything anymore. You just back off here. Alchemist is looking for the Marci, which I'm kind of wondering why. They're going to go for an aggressive play. Juggernaut, as I said, not really a character in this game right now for the team. Very rough situation. Wraith King has the Radiance, has stuff that. I'm thinking he really go for that one? I thought he went for like a Mjolnir, or was that a different game? I'm not too sure. Marci gets on top of the Alchemist. The Alchemist does pop. The Ethereal once again onto the Marci. They're taking her a lot out of these fights right now. Marci does take once again a bit more of damage. Goes for the Bodyguard. Jump on top of the Jakira. Jakira takes quite a bit of damage there. The Unleash comes out of there, and that's a dead Jakiro. Now there's an opportunity to get on top of the Alchemist. Wagner trying to do what he can, but gets slapped down as well. Wagner now picks up the Alchemist. Zeus goes for the ult, takes down the Marci. Goes for a run around here. And there's going to be that going on. Wraith King dies, kills the Zeus off there, but there's still the Ursa available. Ursa's trying to hold on as much as he can. Juggernaut goes for a fight with the Ursa. Ursa is dropping pretty half HP, does not have a lot, has the Blink Dagger, and that's kind of it really. With the Battle Fury is but more for the farm. Swap out there for the Ursa. Ursa bites the dust. 30-13 for the Dire team. About a 1k lead, which shows off quite a bit, honestly, that it's not going so well for them. Damage is being done quite nicely. The Wraith King, I feel like still lacking a bit in damage, to be honest, but we'll see how this one goes out further. Yep, here's the swap up. This is really a bad choice. You already have the Radiance, so you're already in a good spot. You got farm, you don't go for a Mjolnir. Vengeful Spirit swaps out of here. I really don't get the Mjolnir pickup. I sat down during the games. I was sitting during this game and was thinking, why pick up the Mjolnir? Why? And as the game goes on right now, I'm still thinking why, because I feel like Mjolnir can be a nice pickup. It can be a really nice touch, no question about it. But you already have your farming item. You don't need to do that. You don't outscale this enemy lineup later on. You can outscale the Ursa. Yes, of course you can, because it's an Ursa. But he is pretty late game, and then you go in against an Alchemist and decide, you know what, I'm gonna outscale this Alchemist. You're not, as a Wraith King. Wraith King can do a lot of things, but the Alchemist will not be outscaled by a Wraith King. Because The one thing people forget about the Alchemist, seemingly, at least in this bracket, I would say, the Alchemist outscales you not because he has his own item, but he will give his whole team the Aghanim's at some point, and then you're in a really bad spot. Alchemist is sitting there going for the TP, is actually pretty nicely done for that one, gets out of dodge completely. As I said, Aghanim's is the right choice. The shard is a good choice as well because I've been having issues really getting on top of people, but I don't need that diffuser blade. That's one thing I gotta say. That was a bad item choice for me. Pugna gets hit by the Omni Slash. Oh, okay. That's a pickup there by the Juggernaut, but he dies there as well. Swap there from the Vengeful Spirit. I don't know why the Vengeful Spirit walked that deep in there. Zeus picks up the kill. Marci now just does a mistake walking in there. Almost picks up the Alchemist, but this is where I would say the BKB was mandatory. Because I'm getting slowed out of this game right now. I really hate the Mjolnir pick up the Maelstrom. It's not the item you want to see your Wraith King have. If you went with the Skull Bash and everything, that would have been awesome. Because keep them in your range. Get a BKB as well. Let's get on top of that. It's kind of funny that I'm talking about I got a BKB late in this game, one game after I had this whole Lincoln's BKB thing as well. Crystal Maiden picks up a kill, but Wraith King, here's the thing. Here, you see exactly. You're not out fighting this Alchemist. You are not out fighting this Alchemist. The Alchemist doesn't even freaking have anything to boost himself except his ult. Which, I mean, Chemical Rage does quite a bit, but it's just like, brother. Don't try to outfight the dude. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, swap on top of Zeus. Zeus gets frostbite, but there is now the Pugna. Pugna's putting in the work, and Venge dies off there completely. And this, you kind of slowly seeing this game spiral out of control in favor of the Radiant team, because Dire, like I said, one of the things I would say I made a mistake, honestly. I made quite a bit of a mistake there. I can't really feel like that's going to be the big pickup here. Omni Slash on top of the Alchemist, but the Alchemist is just standing tall and just being like, yep. I'm trying to look for something, but right now, okay, we got the Alchemist still holding on there. Marci does not get on top of that one, and this is really what the lack of BKB does for me. And I'm going to be honest about that one. If I wouldn't be lacking the BKB, I think we could have had a better choice there. Just what it is, honestly. Yep. I'm seeing what I was supposed to see, and yes. Yep, the Mjolnir is not, in the normal standard build, the Mjolnir is not even part of the pickups here. Which is very unfortunate. Good stun there from the Venge, but there's not enough around. Wraith King comes in there. Venge does survive a bit there, but now the Ice Path comes out. Crystal Maiden is now in the grasp of the Ursa, and Ursa just pounds her into the ground. And once again, this really shows up. And I understand the Maelstrom idea, but it's just not. I love the guide here right now. An early Maelstrom hastens your farm with great chain lightning attack. You already have the farm. Problem is, there's a bad spot for this one. The Juggernaut is not even close to having anything really essential. Going to go for the Skull Basher next. As I said, I made the mistake for going for the Diffusal Blade. That's on me. I should not be trusting Russians. Hate to say that one. But it is what it is, honestly. And you see, Dire has been lacking quite a bit. If we look at the net worth, yeah. Pretty much that what I was expecting to see. The Alchemist top, Wraith King is after that, and then Zeus had a rough laning phase. Juggernaut is not even being effective, honestly, in this game. Juggernaut tries to go in there, gets completely annihilated. Leo comes out of there. Ursa jumps on top of one again. Marci gets a bit of an answer on top of the Ursa, but not enough really. Wraith King jumps in there now. They do pick up a kill on top of the Ursa, but that's going to be it. There's the reincarnation. The good dual breath comes out of there. Ice Path does not hit the Wraith King, so that's something about it. As I said, I made a mistake on the Marci. I just kind of made the bad play with the Diffusal Blade. That's on me. That's on me. Totally on me. There's some bad item hero choices in this game right now. I would not go with that for the Venge as a support. There's some Maiden trying to do what she can, going for the Kaya as well. Nah. More security blankets would be better, but I get it. I'm thinking too much in like what we can do really to help the team out kind of situation. But yeah, no, they're just pushing in there. Swap in onto the Alchemist. Wraith King gets on top of that one as well. Alchemist not looking good, gets stunned up as well. It's thrown back. That's a pickup there for the Marci here. As I said, I feel like I misplayed it by. As I said, the Diffusal was a bad pickup. There's no question about it. The Diffusal was a bad pickup for me. Should have gone with the Aghanim's immediately, then go into the BKB, which I'm now going into. Because the BKB is one of the most valuable items right now for Marci, especially in this game in general. Let's be honest about that one. You got the Pugno can make you not auto attack. Then you got the Jakiro who has a lot of ice paths. You got a lot of magic damage with the Zeus, which you can cancel out, and the stun from the Alchemist does not go through BKB as well. It's such a valuable pickup. It should have been probably one of my more bigger pickups. As I said, Juggernaut, I don't know what the Juggernaut is really doing in this game. The other have a Skull Basher, not really showing up anywhere. I still don't like this Mjolnir pickup, honestly. The Maelstrom is going to be in Mjolnir, which you don't pick that up when you want it early on, honestly. That's kind of like what I would say about it, really. That's how I would look at it, but it's a bit of a, as I said, a bit of a rough game anyway. Clears out the wave, the Crystal Maiden clears out the wave for the Marci can get on top of that one. Crystal Maiden kind of seems that she's kind of decided she's gonna go into the more farm category, which I'm not the biggest fan of, to be honest, but I get it. That's the thing, I really get it. Vengeful Spirit now getting trapped off there. Good double stun from the Alchemist, honestly. Wraith King jumps on top of the Alchemist. Alchemist is immediately answered, but he's trying to get away out of that. The Omni Slash goes into the wave. Frostbite on top of the Alchemist as well. Well, he is not going to live through this one, is he? No, he is not. Wraith King picks up the kill. And now the skeletons go in there, try to pick up some farm for the Wraith King. I mean, this is kind of the funny part about it, I feel like right now, the Wraith King. Whatever he's doing there, cool. 10k gold lead right now. A lot of it, as I would be saying, on top of this Juggernaut. Wraith King is a bit behind. Zeus and Marci are pretty even, honestly, right now, which is kind of funny because Zeus had a horrible lane early in mid game with the Marci, and then kind of towards the mid/late game. The later end of the mid game kind of benefited Zeus more because Marci got hammered quite a bit. Part of his poor itemization, let's be honest about that one. This item should have been in our inventory like 10 minutes ago. That would have been a good spot to be in. But that's a mistake I have to put myself on blast for. Otherwise, I don't really have the chance to critique, for example, this Wraith King. Who's building a BKB, by the way, which I do respect fairly. Jug looks like he's going for Assange and Yasha next. Or no, Abyssal. Actually, an Abyssal. I was like, Sanjiana, no, Abyssal. So that's going to be another point. BKB now for the Marci available, so that's going to be a good play to be in right now. That BKB can give a lot of value here. Alchemist is there. Juggernaut walks in there. Does not get stunned there. Marci gets on top of that one. Did not pop the BKB. Now pops the BKB. Goes for the Pugna. Pugna is immediately blown up, and that's a good fight, honestly, for them. They do get on top of the Alchemist as well, and that's a really good fight. That is 3 down already. Now's the chance to pull the trigger. Swap comes through there. Jump on top of the Zeus. Goes down to the Marci. Marci picks up another kill here. 41 to 27. There's a turnaround right now. Ursa's doing quite a bit of damage. Marci does not have a lot left here. Gets a dispose there. The jump should be coming in soon, but that's enough stun to take down the Ursa. Everybody's down on to this Radiant team. There's a fortification coming in there. There's an opportunity right now to take advantage of this one. Wraith King is trying to slap Marci. Wraith King and everybody's trying to slap down a bit of this tower. The tower goes down. It should be now the backup time because Jakira and Pugna are going to be on the clock soon. There's buybacks available as well. If you can force the buybacks, you're kind of in a good spot right now. They are moving in there. It's real on top of the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden goes not down. Bit of a surprise there. Venge is clearing out the wave. Crystal Maiden's not in a good spot. And that's going to be it. Wraith King looking for a wraparound. I'm not too sure you want to really do this play right now. Play could be very, very dangerous. If you lose this one, you're kind of toast. There's everybody alive. They get on top of the Jakiro. Stun on top of the Marci. Marci does not have the backing bar ready. Going for a pick on top of the Pugna. Pugna takes quite a bit of damage. The Kibe is being popped. Alchemist is putting some damage on top of the Marci, but Marci's answering immediately as well. Zeus does pick up the Crystal Maiden. Meanwhile, Marci's not really finding the fight here. They're going back and forth right now, and Wraith King just moved away completely out of this fight. I don't know why. Stun comes on top of the Marci. That was a bad going back in there. Marci gets stunned up once again. And I don't know what the Wraith King did in that fight. Stun on top of the Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit will be burned to the ground as well. And now Wraith King and Juggernaut are the two who have to hold up everything right now, and not too sure that's going to work out well. Abyssal Blade for the Juggernaut. As I said, I'm still not too sure. What did he pick up there? What the hell is this? I mean, I'm not looking too good with my Dominant Courier as well, but that's actually because I never got anything good out of my pickups. Radiant finally go for the first time for the Roshan, which is a big pickup, honestly. It's really what you want to see. Juggernaut finds a Jakiro. Jakiro goes in with the Glimmer Cape, goes invisible. This is what I say. Glimmer Cape would have been a great pickup, to be honest. Kaya, I'm not a big fan of it. So, smoke being thrown out there, not really much about that one. Ursa has the Aegis, so this could be one of the final fights right now. Everybody's alive everywhere. Wraith King, as I said, not really the item I would prefer to see, but it is really what it is. We do have the Juggernaut fighting the Ursa, which is a bad choice, to be honest. So the push is going to come in soon. Swap in on top of the Pugna. Marci once again unfortunately jumps in there. BKB now pop. There's going to be now an opportunity. The Alchemist is biting the dust right now. Goes pretty low, goes down. Juggernaut picks up the kill by doing almost nothing in that fight. Aegis is being available now. The stun does not go through. That was a misplay there. Ursa pops the BKB now, is holding up as much as he can, goes down. The Juggernaut picks up a second one. And Crystal Maiden is the only death in that one. Wraith King does go down to the Zeus, so that's a bad situation, to be honest about it. Or did I see that wrong? No, Wraith King killed Zeus. I was wrong. So this now has to be the time where you really force a push here out of this one. Because otherwise you can't really do much about it. You gotta break high ground as fast as possible. The problem is you're getting the push in on the bot side, and now the TP comes in from the Pugna. Pugna is there available to pick something up here. Whereas he had to take that up right there. Blast comes through. Annihilates pretty much a lot from this wave. Skullbasher now picked up by the Wraith King. Wraith King is sitting on the side. I'm not too sure you really want to go for the TP. You just want to kind of try to force a push here. Skullbasher for the Marci does not have buyback if I have that correctly in mind. Yes, does not have buyback, so that's going to be a get on top of Pugna. Pugna goes ethereal. There is now the chance. Ice Path goes out of there. Wraith King. BKB is 5 seconds on cooldown. Macropire comes out of there. Jakiro holding up. It's real once again. Swap out from the bench. A lot has been put down. This Jakiro has put in work. Wraith King looking for something. That's a death. There's the Alchemist going to come in from the behind. And there's the first death. And Juggernaut, what the hell? There's nothing there. And Wraith King does pick up the Jakiro, but that's a bit too little too late, I would say right now. The TP's going to come out there. They're going to get this. They do get the stun onto the Wraith King. Wraith King's going to go down here. It's real, and now as the Wraith form should just go in there, try to fight somebody right now. Goes for the stun onto Zeus, which is not a good pickup. So, pretty bad play right now. Not a good situation to be in. Marci has to back off there. Crystal Maiden and Marci are alive. We do have the buyback for the Wraith King and Vengeful Spirit. Juggernaut does not have a buyback. That's something to keep in mind right now. Zanj and Kaya is actually the pickup for the Crystal Maiden. As I said, I would have probably, if I were the Crystal Maiden, probably gone with a Glimmer Cape, to be honest, because that would have been a good thing. Or even a BKB. Just give yourself some chances to do some damage here, really. Because now you got that going on. The jump on top of that one. Frostbite comes out of there. Unleash is being thrown out as well. There is now the freezing field. Zeus is in a bad position. Gets picked up there. Jump on top from the Ursa. Gets a stun onto the Crystal Man. Stun on top of the Marci as well. Marci's trying to do what she can, really. Wraith King hasn't bought back yet. Swap out further. Now Wraith King has bought back. Marci has to disengage from this fight completely. Otherwise she would be toast. And that is a Zeus for 2 buybacks, if I saw correctly, or 1 buyback. 2 buybacks. The Zeus for 2 buybacks. Not a good situation to be in. So, Crystal Maiden doesn't have a buyback. Wraith King doesn't have a buyback. Ursa is pretty strong right now. That's a bit of a problem. You got the pretty strong Alchemist who's doing quite well. Almost has a Skullbash as well, which could cause a lot of problems. Vengeful Spirit and Wraith King are pretty high up top there. That's not a position you really want to see them in right now. TP from the Crystal Maiden now comes and turns this tower. If they lose this fight, this is game over. Swap in onto the Alchemist. Alchemist gets stunned up, gets hit there. Wraith King jumps on top of that one, pops the BKB, gets a few slaps onto the Alchemist, but they're letting the Pugna work his way. Macropie comes out to stun onto the Crystal Maiden. Alchemist just runs there in that one. Wraith King goes down for the first life. Tries to get him on top of that one. Manages to blink out of the Omni Slash from the Juggernaut. Works out in this case. The Alchemist is just pushing the tower. No opportunity whatsoever to stop anything about it. There's a wraparound coming around here. Bob comes through there. The Alchemist is going in there. Marci tries to get on top of anything, but the Alchemist is dropping pretty low here. There is a good one there. The Jakiro does manage to get the Glimmer Cape off of there, trying to run away as much as he can. Jumps on top of the Alchemist. Alchemist goes down to the Marci. There's now an opportunity. Ursa's coming now around here. There is the Jakiro as well. Stun on top of the Marci. Wraith form is in there now for the Wraith King. Wraith King goes down, so Wraith King is off the map for 20 seconds, and Ursa gets an ultra kill for that one, and I don't think there's really a chance to pull this one back right now. Because the Ursa is pretty strong. That you got the Venge who needs to hit some stuns. The Juggernaut, I don't feel like really is doing much in this game. Which, if we look at the items, you can really see the Juggernaut has a Skull Basher. What is he go? Is he going for the Nullifier, or what is he doing? You don't really see what he's going for right now because he's not really showing that Ursa is taking racks. There's going to be a 2-push racks here, and that's going to be it, really. Nothing to be done about this one. And that's going to be... Marci does buy back here, so there's something. Venge and Juggernaut have buybacks. Venge buys back as well, so Juggernaut is still open, just not going for it yet. There's a freeze on top of the Marci swap from the Vengeful Spirit, but Juggernaut now comes on the map. 50 seconds left till the Wraith King. Everybody else is on the map, so there could be a play around this one. Mega Creeps are going to come in there, so that's going to be another play about this one. This should be probably the final fight opportunity that's really here. Mega Creeps are now coming into the base of the Dire team all the time right now. And you see this Dire is actually very nicely done with their discipline. They backed off completely there. They were not in a position, so 17, 16. We're closing in on now Wraith King soon being on the map. That could be a big play about this one. Marci does not have a buyback anymore, so that's another thing to keep in mind right now. There's quite a few options that are really important now. Ursa now has an Aghanim's, which if I remember correctly, oh yeah, it helps his enraged and he can't be disabled during the enrage. Oh, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. Visiblade won't come out for the Wraith King till this happens. Kaya now for the Jakiro, who has already a good amount of support items. So Ursa is still going for a bit of a farm. As I said, the next fight's going to probably decide this game completely here right now. Whoever fights this one, we're 41 to 51 in favor of the Dire team, but 20,000 gold lead for the Radiant side at the same time. Pugna is getting trapped out. This is now an opportunity to take down the Pugna. First one gone. Pugna bites the dust, has no buyback, so that's an opportunity. Right now, I would say this should be the chance for the Dire team to find, if they find another pickup, if they get the Ursa or the Alchemist, I think they could really pull something out of this bag right now. But those are the two. Abyssal Blade now on the Alchemist as well, so the Alchemist is going to be a big issue right now. Jakiro comes in there, gets a good Macropie. Jakiro gets on 2 with the Ursa. Marci tries to answer it completely now, but gets stunned up completely, gets taken out, and that's probably game right now. Wraith King is sitting on the side. Wraith King wasn't really in that fight, which is a bit of a mess of that one. Juggernaut wasn't either, so those two now have to try to defend what they can. Only Slash goes out onto that one, but whatever is happening, the Alchemist is bashing in right now. The Ancient, and now we see the Wraith King trying to hold on, but he has no opportunity. He goes down there, and that is it. GG. And the Radiant team win. And yeah, I mean, I got a bit salty at the end because honestly, Zeus got punished all game. So 45 to 52 after 45-22. And 25,000 gold lead for the Radiant team. Lead them to victory. GG. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.